Hi everyone, great to see you again. I hope you can hear me okay. Let me get my settings in the right place. Okay. Hello everyone. Kowalski, Pop Fisher, and Chesort, and not anyone you know, and Yegna, so on. Yeah, Dang, Kavarav. Welcome everybody. This was from last time. I think we talked about the different plans we had to take into account what our opponent was trying to do to us, right? I think that was the topic here. And what did we conclude last time? I'm thinking black played at this stage rook c7, defending the knight on d7, but Peter Heine Nielsen also had another idea behind this move that I wanted you to figure out. So let's do this very quickly. I remember that many of you got it right last time, and you will get it right this time as well. So I give you only 30 seconds, all right? Oh, some people are telling me the answer in the chat. Interesting. Tricky, not anyone you know. Yegna. We have 3 winners so far. Pop Fisher, that was in the other variation after Queen c8. I tricked you, I think. Okay. Vish, the same goes for you. Unless you're doing some kind of spectacular exchange sacrifice, that's not the right move order. We have more winners: Chesart, I Love Panda, and Alan. All right, excellent job. Let's check with Tricky Windmill. You were fastest. Please go ahead, Tricky. What did he play here? Petter Svidler. Aha, knight d4. So you could say, of course, knight d4. We're getting ready to play knight b5. But he also had another idea. I think some of you remember. Now, we talked about black having 2 ideas. One being knight f5, and then the other idea, if white played something like g4. Does anyone remember what black would play here? You can just write in the chat if you like. Why didn't Petter Svidler play g5, stopping knight f5? No, I don't think knight c8. If knight c8, I think I'm going back with the rook, and white would still be clearly better. I Love Panda is right. Yeah, Panda, that's correct. I think he wanted to play like this and then send the knight to d5. This is what Nielsen was preparing to do, and he would have some counterplay in this position. So that's another merit of this move, knight d4. Not only is he taking measures to play knight takes f5. Yeah, if I play that tricky, this is not so tricky anymore, right? This is easy to win with white, if I'm not mistaken, tricky. Exactly, we just take it, no matter how I take back here. I don't know, I can take like that, like in the Caro-Kann with the fancy double pawns. But I'm lost on the d file now, I suppose. Yeah, bishop c6 and b5 perhaps. So that's one of the points of this move, knight d4. We prevent this. But at the same time, we prevent the other plan. And if I now try to hit the rook on d6, we should see exactly Oski. b5 even better, I think. Even rook takes c6, and it's funny that this rook hangs in the end. And if I play like he played in the game, Queen c8, yeah, I think you remember everything here tricky, right? You remember now we switch plans. Yeah, now we don't sack on e6 anymore, of course. So knight b5, we can see that these 3 pieces are at the distance of a knight fork, which explains Tricky's and Svidler's next move here, and black resign. So yeah, nice play by white. We will see more about Petter Svidler in a few weeks from here. I thought that could be an interesting player to cover, but we will do 2 more classes about seeing the opponent's threat, or you would say asking the question. So nice. Let's move on. Let's bring up some fresh stuff here. This is an old example. Probably most of you were not born when this game was played, but it could be interesting. Some of you were born, but not all. 2009. Game from 2009, when Nakamura was not as strong as he is today, of course. You were born. Okay, good for you. So question, which opening is this? Which opening is this? I wasn't born. Okay. No, I wasn't. Where do you reach this opening? Slav. It could have been a Slav perfectly. Although in which white, yeah, in some lines you castle long. But I think it's from these 2 points you can see easily which opening. Of course, Kowalski and Holo and Panda. It's a Caro-Kann. No, you rarely get this in the Slav. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you rarely get the white pawn to h5 in the Slav, as far as I know. Yeah, so this is from the Caro-Kann, from the classical variation. And what happened here is that Vasilios Kotronias, a Greek grandmaster, famous theoretician, he played the move Rook dh1. All right, we'll flip the board. Remember, don't ruin other people's fun. Okay, show some respect. Don't give away answers in the chat. We're trying to be educated and polite to each other. Now, I'm saying this before it happens. I'm not scolding anyone here. I'm just saying let's be educated. So Kotronias played Rook dh1, and I'll give you. The question is, what is White about to do? You don't answer, you think for yourself. And you tell me what you think would be the best way to reply with the black pieces. Okay? There you go. I'll give you 1 minute. I know the threat, I think. That's music to my ears. But don't say it out loud. Take your time. Nakamura went wrong in this position, so it's not that simple. Why did our opponent just play Rook dh1? That's what I would like you to answer. Okay, Steve Alapat, you're the only winner. Many of you played Nakamura's move, I think. Aha, interesting. So we will check with Steve first, okay? We'll check with Steve. What would you play here with Steve? Queen d6, retreating the queen. You would say that's strange. Why would you retreat our actively placed queen? And maybe you remember there was this. That's half a point, Queen c7. Yeah, Snoskoborovsky said. By the way, who is Snoskoborovsky? Anyone knows this? What did he say? Don't retreat the queen until it's attacked in such position. That's what he was saying. He had this principle. When you have your queen, like let's say you took a pawn on b2 or something, you don't retreat it. Yeah, you can Google Snoskoborovsky Sarthak and you will learn. He said that. He was a strong player back in those days. Don't remove the queen until it's attacked because the queen will create some kind of disorder in your opponent's camp. That's what his theory went. However, in this case, there is a big threat which Steve noticed and played Queen d6. Yeah, I played e4 trying to play e5, and Steve said, I'll just move my knight away. Why to this square? Well, because probably later you could try to bring your knight to g5, perhaps. You're holding up g4, e5 also. And in the meantime, you can put pressure. Yeah, it's not attacked. That's what I'm saying. It's surprising that you would retreat the queen. Okay, let's see here. I'm checking the answers. We have many moves that you were saying here. Some of you said Queen c7, right? Those of you said Queen c7, consider yourself winners. That's very similar to the move we were talking about. Maybe the difference here is that White could play g4 and try to play g5. But then you could, of course, play knight h7 anyway. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not an expert on these lines, but maybe you can hold up, like you could put your queen there perhaps, or you can play this anyway. So not sure about this. But okay, what I'm sure about is what he had as a threat here when he played Rook dh1. So by now I allow you to tell me. What was the point of this move. Anyone, you can tell me in the chat why the threat was Rook a4 exactly. So those of you who played, for instance, the typical Caro-Kann move, knight e7, stopping knight e5, you will have to taste Rook f4 here. And then you will ask yourself, but why didn't he play it in the first place? Because then the pawn is hanging, right? If you play it here, also you're not threatening the queen anymore. So yeah, it's badly timed, right? They will just take the pawn. So yes, Noskoborovsky was slightly refuted his theory, but okay, they also say there is no rule without exceptions now. So any move like knight e7 or let's say c5, we had a group of students who said c5, and you will have an issue with rook f4, and it's hard for you to stop rook h3 in a good way, right? Yeah, anything else? I don't know. Is there any other move? Knight h7. Well, I'm doing the test here. Knight h7, rook f4. You were going to play knight e5. Was that your idea, Vish and Chess and Goldfish and Young Dion? That's maybe okay. You're covering h3 then. That was your idea, Chess Yeah, I can kind of buy that story. I think that's perfectly fine then. Yeah, I'll give you a point also. Those of you who said knight h7, if you hand on your heart, you promised that you had seen that knight e5 was possible, then I'm ready to give you that point, okay? Important thing is that we stop the move rook h3. Else we end up like Hikaru Nakamura in this game, because he played in the game. What did he play in the game? He played c5, I think. Yeah, he played c5, and then there was rook f4. Is that how the game went? Yeah, that's how the game went. And he soon had to resign this game because he could not save his queen. All right, Jazz is saying knight h7. Let's see. Knight h7, rook f4, knight e5, rook 1 h4. Wow, we are really insisting with chopping the queen. I guess one problem is that the e1 square is available, right? I could probably take on f3 and hide my queen on e1. Yeah, but maybe you can do it anyway to get your rook into an attacking position. But I don't think it's so dangerous. Oh, this is also a clever try. Just trade off the queens if you want to. So black, yeah, black is extremely solid in general in the Caro-Kann, in these lines of the Caro-Kann. So, okay, I hope everybody agrees then. If you play c5 in this position, just to make sure that everybody understood what we were talking about, I'm bringing up this really quickly. Okay, you'll get only 20 seconds here. Okay, perfect. Many winners here. Khan, King Sam, Yegnat, Celicia, Freya, Chess Crusher, Alapat, Fianchetto, Dang, Dang, and 20 more. Khan, King Sam, you were first. You can show us then. You finished last. Oh, last. Sorry, I'm taking it in the other way around. Yeah, then who cares? Who cares? Important thing is that you got it right. All of you, rook f4. Congratulations. There is no way, not even Hikaru Nakamura can stop rook h3. You can see nice teamwork from the white pieces. Even the tiny h5 pawn is helping in the process, no? Is that correct? Every square is protected by... Yeah, I think almost every square is protected by one white piece, no? In this beautiful position. So, amazing. Yeah, no pre-move will save even Nakamura in this position. Exactly. Let's continue. I'll take something now that when they play this, you were certainly born, all of you, I would suspect, because this game was played in 2021, all right? Game from 2021, Sharjah Open, no? Strong tournament. Sharjah Masters, sorry. So Maxodo with white and Chedvishvili with the black pieces. Very tense endgame battle. Black played at this point. Yeah, they don't have so many choices now. They're in check. They played here the move King h6. Yeah, you're playing with the white pieces. Please don't talk in the chat about what's the threat and so on. Let everybody get the chance to figure that out. And in the meantime, you try to figure out how we should continue here with the white pieces. But this is a tricky exercise. I'll give you a little more time, I think, this time. Yeah, I'll give you a little more. Let's see. I think that will be enough. Here and yeah, 1 minute and 30. All right, take your time, guys. Take your time. Careful. There is a big threat here. There is a big threat, giant threat, not to say the least. I'm sorry, Vish, if you play like that. That's like a very reasonable move. But I think my other rook will join the battle if you play in that way. You won't be able to put up with my other rook. Yeah, let's see here. Oski and Dang Dang, you want to mate me? I know what I will play there. Yeah, I will check you and I will take something. and I think my king will escape. Wow, I have to think about that. What happens if you play like that? My king is maybe in danger. Um, yeah, interesting try. Interesting try. Play for mate in the opponent's time trouble and so on. Oh, a lot of students would like to play like that. I understand. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it works also. I think what I will do, I will make space for my king. That's my gut feeling. Yeah, I'll make space for my king if you play like that. Very interesting. Very interesting. I will have to look at this a little closer. Uh-huh. Interesting idea. So that's not a bad try. Let's see. We have to do a request then. So those of you who said bishop g8, I like your idea. You want to mate me, right? So most likely I need to make space. We will do a request. No problem, Tricky. So g5, I have to play that by survival, right? Survival. I need to free a square for my king. And now, to be honest with you guys, I was hoping I could play like this. But I think there is a problem with rook check, king g6, knight check, king f6, rook f7, king e6. And you have some discovery there, right? Like rook f8 or something, taking my rook. Or maybe there is something even better. We will come to that, Yegna. We will come to that. So I take this back and I make more space for my king. If I play g4, maybe you can come back. No, I can play g4 also, I think. This is also okay. The important thing is that I make space for my king, or no? Wait a little here. No, you're checking me now, right? You're checking me, and I can't leave this place if I play like that. Yeah, so I need to check you again, right? I need to check you again so that I get more squares from my king. I think I'm on the right track now, right? Anyone? Does that make sense? Yeah, don't talk about the answers now. Please, don't talk about the answers. I hope this is convincing. For those of you who said bishop g8, yeah, if you're giving away the answers in the chat, that's ridiculous. No, you're destroying other people's challenges. So coming back, bishop g8, very critical move, but it seems black can make space for the king, but it seems important to kick away the white king so that the black king can meet these checks by yeah, something like that. Very tricky variation. Yeah, we should go this way, I think. And once we're there, I think white is in trouble because also we are doing something on the queen side, maybe taking and sending the rook. Yeah, not to a2, of course. I know the bishop is down, but maybe we can send it to a3. So coming back to the initial position, if you played rook c3, this for me is the most logical move because we have seen the threat. Everybody saw the threat, right? Rook d3 and g5 mate. That's what black is playing for here. So if you play rook c3, I'm taking, you have to take back, and I think I'm sending the rook in this direction. So if I'm not mistaken, you're in some kind of mating net here, right? White is almost getting mated, some kind of combined effort by black's pieces. Yeah, exactly how does this work? I think it's the rook which comes here, the pawn will go 2 steps, the white king goes up again, and the rook comes to h2. I don't know if you can stop. Yeah, white's king is in deep trouble. I don't think there is a way to stop this attack. King g3, sending the king away. Yeah, I guess I checked you. I think I have a vague feeling about how this works. We have a mate on these 2 files, right? These 2 ranks, sorry. Yeah, g5, or I thought maybe you could play h4, or is that bad? I would try, like Young Jial says, I would try h4. I'm very attracted to these primitive plans like that. And I'm just saying I move my rook away somewhere, and not easy for white to save their skin here, right? Yeah, white's cooked here, says Sarthak. I believe you're right. So which other moves did you check here? We can come back and check the rest of the moves. Knight e7. Yeah, very optimistic move. I'm thrilled to know what you had on rook d3. If you were intending to play knight g8, it's bad news for you. No, I'm taking and I'm mating you. Yeah, the threat is massive. I could say that. What else? Rook d7. Rook d7. Then I think anyone, what would you play here with the black pieces? Not so difficult, right? We can do the same thing, right? But with the other rook, of course. We trade, we take, and you can guess the last move here. Yeah, not so difficult. Can King 7, that's right. And we are doing the mate again. So we went over basically all the moves here. Are there any other moves that require any comment? King G3, I think it's the same thing. I take and I bring the rook, and you're again in some kind of mating net. Oh, so Tralalelo, you were very close. I see. We had a bunch of students who were very close. Yeah, very, very close. Basically, you were winners. If you got beyond move 3, consider yourself winners. So, okay, I'll give everybody a new chance. But I guess you gave away the answer in the chat. But no problem, no problem. Here we go again. Is that how it goes? Yeah. Oh, you said 96. I understand what you meant now, Trala something. I take we check on A3, I guess. Okay. Very long variation. I think that's very tense. Okay, I'll give you only 1 minute then. Take your time. Okay, we had 2 winners, Flawless and Can King San. Let's bring up Flawless then, who has the nicest icon also. No, I'm just joking. Please go ahead. Yeah, if there is some alternative solution, we will check it, of course. So rook c6, main point of this move, of course, that we pin the pawn. Whenever we move the bishop, we are pinning the pawn. In the game, I think he played bishop d5, right? Yeah, in the game, unfortunately, no one less than Maxurlu missed the threat. He played bishop d5. Anyone, what did black play here? Just to make sure we're on the same page. Of course, rook d3 and game over, because g5 is coming, and if I try now rook c6, it's a little late for this move, right? What would, of course, Flawless. We take, and the white rook is overloaded to 2 defensive functions. So that's right. We need to start with rook c6, and after rook d3, threat of mate in 1. But the good thing is that Flawless is with us. So bishop f5, hitting the pawn on g6. Yeah. After this, I think I don't have any good moves, and I'm probably even lost here. So I will try our main line instead. I'll take on b4. I'll go for my counter attack here after a takes b4. So bishop f5 anyway. And now I can fortunately protect the pawn. And king h3. I say tricky. Yeah, nobody is invincible, I think. Yeah, if you take first, I think there is a problem with mate coming up, right? Smells like rook a3 is powerful here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Looks scary, no? If you play like that. So it's probably better to play the king move first. King h3 first. And I move my rook somewhere. Now we better take before they take, yeah. And I can now try to mate you with rook a1, but this time we are just in time. I don't know. Maybe it's still tricky. No, it's still tricky, this position. I don't know. I would play maybe king g7 here. Not sure what would happen next. What do you think, Flawless? You can say White's going for it. What are we doing? Yeah, good question. White is trying to do the best they can, right? The best they can. We could be winning. We could be A, winning, 2, drawing, 3, losing. That doesn't matter. We're just trying to do the best we can. Whoever said that. So black can force a draw, of course, if they want. But black is probably playing for a win. That's why I said I'll try king g7 here. And with good play, we can draw exactly king 7. So this happens sometimes. Not every position is holdable, right? Hopefully it will be like, just play chess, exactly, princess. Good point. You're checking me. Yeah, I think that's the best choice. And you have to try to find some kind of counterattack or something. I don't have a clear threat right now. You can even try to mate me here. Yeah, good point, Steve, and so on. Yeah, bishop e6, good move. You're almost winning here. I need to defend this against this move, right? Rook f1 maybe. And life goes on. Yeah, I don't know. Probably black is still in the driver's seat, but we can continue playing. No, it's the best it gets. Okay, so yeah, 96 for instance. Yeah, I don't know what I would do here. Not so sure. I need to be careful also. No, I need to be careful. Some tactic, some fork somewhere or something. If I play rook f6, for instance, I'm just curious. Do I run into some tactic there? My rook is trapped, right? Rook f7 and you're winning. Look, we can even win here. Correct me if I got this wrong. Yeah, you're talking about other things. I'm only looking at the board. It seems to me that we just trapped the black rook, didn't we? Right? Rook f5. Okay, if that's your best move, I'm happy. So anyway, we still have chances, right? Unfortunately, you don't play against me. I won't play. You won't face rook down. They will play something else. Aha. King e7, king e4. I see. Rook g4. Where rook e4? Oh, you're talking about this line still. I'm taking and I don't understand. Yeah, we should leave this, right? We should leave this variation. So king takes f7, yeah, and why are we talking about this? So anyway, I hope this was understandable. I will ask everybody to just play out the two first moves, okay? With that, we are done. So please remember, it's very important to see through the opponent's threat, right? That's what we're trying to do here, seeing through the opponent's threat. You get 30 seconds there, okay. Yeah, we have many winners. This time I will read them in order. Oski, Jazz, Sarthak, Fianchetto, Kan King Sam, Vis, Yongjal, Freya, Princess, Chesort, Not Anyone You Know, Flawless, Tralalelo, Xalicia, Kowalski, Tricky, Phineas, Yegna, Panda, Kavarav, John Drip, Small Goldfish, Trasher, Ian, and Steve. Okay, Yegna, you can show us. How could white have saved this game? Rook c6, we're pinning the pawn. If they try to play rook d3, we have bishop f5. If they try to mate us in this way instead, we have bishop f5 anyway. And in this way, we put some pressure on them also. So we were saying that there are basically two layers of this situation. Now we are saying one, the threat, and you would say two, the solution. No? So one can be easy, and also difficult. One can be easy or difficult, and the same goes for two, right? So here, for instance, I think both were quite difficult. Both the threat and the solution were quite difficult. But if we take the previous example, let's see what you have to say about this. If I take the Cotronias versus Nakamura game, white played rook h1. Which one is easier? The threat or the solution? What do you think? Is the threat, which one was easy? Oh, you're writing maybe. Sorry, I'm not checking the chat. The threat is easier. No, I have to say, if Nakamura missed the threat, it's not easy. The solution is extremely easy. Once you see the threat in 1 second, you can say, oh, my queen is in danger. Time to go home. Queen c7 or queen d6. But if you take the other one, I would say it's not like that. In this one, okay, Max Rodlo missed the threat. But even if you see the threat, it's not completely evident that you would play rook c6 here and bishop f5. It was perfectly human to start looking at moves like bishop g8 or knight e7 as well, right? So that is what I'm saying. Oh, sorry, Hollow Blade. Yeah, I didn't read but for the other solution, should I go up and see Hollow Blade? Hollow Blade. Yeah, I don't see so many comments from Hollow Blade, but okay, if you and me agree, Hard to say rook c6, exactly, even if you smell the mating threat. You have other options here also. King g3 is another clear candidate, right? That's maybe the clearest candidate just to stop the mate. Like that would be like Nakamura's queen d6, right? But we said that in this case we have other stuff that's tormenting us, right? So anyway, I think we understand this. So my next example, you would say threat is easy, solution not that easy. So it's the opposite to Nakamura's example. Or you might not agree on this. We will see. We will see if you agree or you don't agree. Okay? Let's see if you agree or you don't agree. From the Tata Steel last year, Darda with white and Rubers with black. Maybe we saw this one. I don't remember. In any case, here it comes again. Daniel Darda played now the move g4. All right, guys? Don't give away answers. Be educated. Don't give away smart answers in the chat, please. I'm just interested in how you can save black's position here. All right, I'll give you 1 minute and 15. So white just played g4. I would like to know how you will continue with the black pieces here. Okay, perfect. Cover up. We have a winner. Congratulations. Steve and Cool Nogging and Sarat Oski. That's a very surprising move. If I go rook e1, what are you doing? Can King Sam, second winner. Dang, you're sacking a piece. I think she did that also. Yeah, Elin Rubers played like that. But it was maybe not the best choice on this occasion. So I had many different, I think almost all the pawn moves on the board were tried here. Kavarov, you were the fastest winner. Please show us. And I'm very happy to look at all your other moves also. So e3 is the big threat, right? That's why they play g4 against us, because e3 is coming next. So, okay, with all ears, Kavarov, you can show us. f5. Okay, what's going on here? Black is continuing like nothing. The typical King's Indian pawn advance. Yeah, there you go. This is what she could have done, right? e4. Extremely smart move. Whenever black takes, we are ready to play e3. So, yeah, that was their answer. But she didn't play it in the game. Yeah, so I guess if we just continue this line, you can see that white will be a pawn up. However, it's not the ideal extra pawn, right? Black's bishop pair looks quite nice. We have pressure on d4. What about rook e1 after f takes e4? Let's see. What about rook takes e1 after... Yeah, you could almost answer that yourself, Hollow Blade. Not so difficult, no? The knight is being... Yeah, exactly, knight f3. We don't get depressed because we're a pawn down, right? This is also not exactly the best extra pawn in chess history, no? The pawn on e3. We can live with that. I don't know. Rook f8. Those of you who are King's Indian players, you know what to do here. Or I don't know. Do you have like cheap tactic over there? Else I would just play rook f8. I like black with bishop e5. I also like black with bishop e5. Yeah, I'll take black every day in the week here. I'm happy about this position. This pawn, I don't think it's a big asset for white. So, yeah, you can win a pawn you don't want to because you have some attacking potential. So I think this was the best choice. What she played this move in the game, unfortunately. After this, I think she went for another plan. Yeah, she played like some of you guys were saying, like this. But then it was not completely convincing. This is how the game went, so she certainly saw this idea. But Darda played very cleverly here, bishop h3, getting ready to save both bishops. So yeah, not so convincing. So yeah, g4 was played, threatening e3. Black had this very interesting way to defend. How do you see it that here, but not the other line? Yeah, I don't know, Steve. I cannot answer that. Tunnel vision, maybe. Very good question. That's chess psychology. I'm afraid I don't have a good answer to that. Yeah, all I know is that this is what we have to play. Yeah, and we go for this plan. Any other move that you would like to discuss? We had some exotic suggestions like bishop a4. Well, if I play rook e1, what was the next move here? I'm curious as for the destination of this bishop. Yeah, I think the point of bishop a4 was to have me play this, and then they would take and play something like that. I assume this was the idea, but I'm not interested in that if I have something else going on, right? What about calling a draw? Yeah, interesting idea. I would not recommend you to ask a draw unless the position is very equal, or maybe you're, I don't know. Anyway, that's a personal issue now. I'm not much fond of draw offers and so on. Yeah, you can accept draws if you're worse. Maybe knight c2 was the idea. Yeah, I agree. But that's also quite terrible. Should we do this one again, maybe? We can do this one again if you like, just to make sure that everybody got it right. Okay? 20 seconds then. Okay, excellent. We had many winners like Dangang 2000. Please go ahead, Dang. Show us how will you continue here with black pieces. F5, so that whenever they hit our knight, we are ready to play E4. Exactly. And they don't have any way to really win the piece anymore, because in the very worst case, we could always give it up on F3 and we have a good position. And yeah, we saw all this. So nice. Okay, we should continue. I was thinking we could take a few examples of more strategical nature, okay? So far, it's all about tactics, it seems, like saving our pieces and avoiding the mate and things like that. So I'll bring up some other examples now. Maybe some of them are quite easy, but I think they can still be useful for you. So here we go. Yeah, slightly strategical. So white just played queen h5. Black said, I better defend this pawn. They played queen e8 in this position. Okay, I would like to know what you think is white's best move in this position. Let me see if I can get it right. Something like that. Okay, I'll give you only 1 minute for this. Knight f6. Maybe you got the answer. Who knows? Maybe knight f6 is a brilliant sacrifice to mate black, right? Wow, beautiful knight f6. But maybe we could calculate it also before we play it, no? Else you're just being seduced by beauty. So if you play like that, Dada Apple and Adi Chess, I had something prepared there for you also, Sharat. I had something prepared. Yeah, and I don't have any choices for sure in that position. So who got closest here? Wow, everybody is going to sacrifice a knight here. Interesting. Wow. Maybe I should check my files. Is this a very clever sacrifice? I honestly had not checked this. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I could just take it. You're mating me somehow? I'm ready to give back my exchange on g6 though. So let's have a look. Nobody got even close here. No, don't spam Lily, please. We will requiz. So queen e8 was played. If you go knight f6, you would say in general these attacking sacrifices, they depend a little on the relation between attacking and defending forces, right? I have a bunch of defenders on my king side. So what was your plan here? I suppose you're not going to take like that, right? And open up the g file for me. You're taking with e. All right. Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting option for me. I can't really calculate that clearly. Should I just give up the pawn like that? The thing is that even if I take here sometimes, you can just play king f1, right? I'll go back with the bishop and I'll play like Petrosyan. I'm sacking my exchange on g6. So if this was your plan, I'll play like that. Yeah, I don't see any hope for white in this position. Does this work? Oh, h6. You're right, probably. I didn't see that. You can probably play like that. Very smart defense. Aha. Good thing you have the bishop there. I guess white can move the king somewhere and hope that they can continue the attack. But I mean, even if they take with the pawn, they're never doing anything there in that position. So you could play almost anything, right? Knight somewhere. I don't know, knight e8 maybe, or something. Does white have a chance to mate black here? I don't think so. I don't think so, no. It's like a dead-end street on that side of the board. But also, if you're tired of calculating and so on, I can recommend a move like rook g6. This looks extremely safe for black to play this position. I can put my queen here maybe. Yeah, in this game, you're not mating me at least. Oh, Oski has a long variation here. Interesting. Knight, bishop b5, knight a5. What's that crazy line, Oski? I don't understand. b5, knight a5. Just for fun, let's check Oski's variation. Bishop takes and f7. Yeah, I don't know. This is some kind of hallucination, Oski. Your last move does not impress anyone here. Yeah, anyway. Should we go back maybe? Should we go back? So queen e8, okay. Other moves. Knight e6 was proposed. Yeah, I need to take... But at this stage, I think I know what I would play. Anyone? What would you play here with the black pieces? Anyone? e5. I like that move. e5 looked clever. I don't know what you had planned on bishop takes e6 and rook takes it. I'm with the tricky here. Or Sarat. Yeah, that's what I would play also. f5 or f6. f6, for instance. We're offering the trade of queens. Anyone remembers? We looked at Carlsen versus Duda. Does anyone remember that, or you don't remember that? In case you don't remember it, I'm here to help you. We will go back to last Thursday, and this is the example. So those of you who have good memory, you might remember black's best way to defend here. Just for fun, guys, I want to test your short-term memory. Who remembers this? Don't give away the answer in the chat. Let's see who remembers. Yeah, I give you no time because we saw this already. Okay, many winners. Sarah Jongjal, Sarthak Yegna, Pop Fisher, Tricky, Kowalski, Crusher, Flawless, Grilled Cheese, I Love Panda. Yeah, you're good learners. You remember this even 1 week later. Not bad. Nice defensive idea. Now we give back the pawn and we trade off the queens. That's a good start. So maybe you could have thought in terms of this example and it would have been easier. Princess, be my guest. Show us how should black continue? Kowalski, I'm sorry, I already gave the move to Princess. Queen e8, exactly. We are allowing them to take on h6. We have no intentions of taking back and getting mated. We play f6 instead, offering the trade of queens. And there were some intricate variations which meant that we should keep this diagonal open. Like if white takes and they played, yeah, I don't even remember the variations. Yeah, if we take here, this was the variation, right? Where it's very handy that we can take this knight if they take on d5. So they would play something else and we said this was okay. Okay, we have a new winner, a new user. Gun Sahur. Okay, you don't get the prize for the smartest handle, but you're welcome anyway. So I think this was important that we would hit this knight at any stage here. So, all right. I hope the picture was clear here. When black played queen e8, they are indirectly threatening to play f6, right? So coming back now to our topic, that was just something we looked at last time. Coming back now. So if you played after queen e8, by the way, Kovacevic with white and Alexeyev with the black piece. If you play knight d6, I will take, and I will play what tricky sir. I'll play f6, offering the trade of queens and getting ready to play e5. Later, I will try to trade off these bishops also. So, okay, should we go back maybe? Should we go back? Any other move that we should look into? Queen h4. Oh, we have a winner here. All right, Sarat, let's win time. Let's win time. Let's to do this a little faster. I'm trying to click on your name, but other people are raising their hands. So you got the right move here. Aha, you found the right move. Please go ahead. That's what we should play. Aha, why did we play that? Because we are strategically very clever. We understood that black is probably about to play f5, right? We understand this or we don't understand it? Black would love to play f5, trading off the queens, benefiting from the fact that white cannot play g takes f6, right? Was there any winners? No, but now Sarat showed us. So in the game, unfortunately, white played bishop g3 in this position. If you ask me, they were actually still thinking about maybe to play knight f6. They were planning this move perhaps. And everybody can imagine what black played now. Let's see if we have learned our lesson here. What did the Russian grandmaster play? Alexeyev, yeah, strong player. How did he continue in this position? I'll give you only 30 seconds. And there is another game which is connected to this topic. I guess I should show you that one also. You did Polgar with white and Smirin with black. Maybe you have seen that game. Else, I will bring it up now so you can connect it to that one. You did Polgar versus Smirin. Yeah, this one. Let me see if I can find it here somewhere. Yeah, here we are. Exactly the same situation. This one. All right. Okay, so good work by Tricky and Celicia, Jazz, Kugel, Alan, Fianchetto, John Drip, Freya, and 6 more. Freya, it's your moment here. Please show us what should black play after bishop d3. We take our chances. We're a pawn up, but our opponent has some attacking intentions. So I was so close. Okay, Freya, exactly. f5. We take advantage of the fact that en passant is not recommendable on this occasion. They have to trade queens instead. And after that, we are happy we're in the end game. Knight d6. And I think there are multiple ways of playing here. Yeah, you could maybe trade off the bishops, or maybe there is something smarter. In the game, he just brought his king a little closer. But I can imagine that the move like, let's say, rook c8 is also reasonable, and so on. Why not the other rook? Why not the other rook? But your rook on g8, is it meaningful on right now? I would guess there is more action on this side, but maybe also if the king is interested in joining the battle. So yeah, I think so. So anyway, back to business. Queen e8. Our best move is probably what Sarat was saying. No? So please go ahead, Sarat. What was the best move here? And I think white is better in that position. Yeah, Queen h4. We simply avoid the f5 move, and it's not so easy for black to play now. Yeah, try yourself to play black here in this position. Well, what is black supposed to do? Like they play rook c8, we can play rook c1. No, or we can play maybe rook d1 also, rook d1 and try to take this pawn later. Something. I was thinking d3. If you play d3 here, I think I'm just playing rook d1, right? And I'm trying to take this pawn. So why not e takes f6 on move 2? Why not e takes f6 on move 2? What was move 2? I already lost. Oh, I played f5 here, right? This was my line. Aha, you can take with e, I take back. Yeah, I just thought I should try something more aggressive now. This was the line that we had, queen g6. I was trying to scare you here, but the queen is hanging. Which queen is hanging? Not now, right? No queen is hanging in this variation. Yeah, I was trying to scare you, but I'm not scaring anyone, no? Of course, Tricky. Yeah, bishop d3, and it's not clear what black is doing, no? So all I wanted you to understand was that after queen e8, black has the positional threat of f5, which means that our best move here, I think there are multiple moves, but we can just pick one, okay? Just to make sure everybody's on the same page here. What would you play with the white pieces? Exactly. Oh, today we have like 100%, well, almost 100% success rate. Yeah, grid cheese and so on. We have only 2 students who didn't like to use this idea, who went 96 instead. Okay, it's a free country. You can do that if you like, but honestly, I think it's better to keep 96 in the pocket now. They can hardly move in this position. Smart Goldfish. Please go ahead, Goldfish. Where is Goldfish? Here. Please go ahead, show us what did you play here. Simple prophylactic move in the attack. We don't give them a chance to breathe here. No, I don't know what black is supposed to do in this position. Yeah, rook c8 maybe. There was no second move. No, I don't get points for e-takes. I didn't add this move to the quiz. Yeah. So we said maybe if you don't have anything else to do, just enjoy your space advantage and put some pressure on your opponent's pieces, and you keep these ideas in the pocket. But probably this one, knight f6, you'll have to wait for it a little later. Maybe you can like swing the bishop over to d3 also. I don't know if you like that idea. We have a new user, Ballerini Cappuccini. Yeah, that's a funny handle. So anyway, should we continue? I wanted to show you that this happened in another famous game. And the famous game that I'm talking about is this one. All right? Judith Polgar versus Mirin many years ago. Anyone? White's most tempting choice? Yeah, I think so too, Successor. I'm also suspecting that somebody's creating new accounts. Yeah, you're wasting my time and your time with that. If that's true, then it's a bad idea. Yeah, 95 is interesting. You did Polgar's tactic change to get this position. 95, yeah, I guess I have to play h6, right? Obviously, e5 is best. First, bishop a6, I think it's not really connected to the position. I think they are happy to give up the change here. Yeah, bishop a6. Can I play knight here maybe and just give up the exchange or no? I'm hoping for some action on this side. Rook here, I'm hoping I can play h6. Yeah, I don't know. Not clear I'm doing the right thing here. Yeah, so Steve, you're right, and everyone else. e5 is what she played in the game. So look what happened. Ilyas Mirin said, danger here, danger on the sky, bishop d3 is coming. And he played queen e8, okay? No further presentation needed. I just want you to tell me one move for white, okay? What did the great Judith Polgar play here? Hollow Blade and Kind King Sam, I can give you half a point. She modified your idea to some extent. Panda, she modified your idea. Steve, you got it. Aha, you must be good with Judith Polgar's game. Sarthak, truly awesome on this occasion. That's what she played. What I call prophylaxis in the attack. Yeah, you can see this in my Mastering Chess Strategy course, by the way. Book. Xalicia, third winner. Aha, you're playing like Judith Polgar. That's not bad. So many of you played Queen H4. Yeah, a little laughable for me, but I guess because we had it in the previous example, right? If you go Queen H4, I wonder if I can go F5. Can I play that anyway? I played Queen G4. Yeah, I'm playing this move hoping that I can survive, but I might not be able to survive here. I don't know. You play this maybe, and I play King H8, and I'm hoping I can play H6. Did I get mated? Let me know. It's embarrassing to get mated, so let me know when I'm getting mated. I guess it's getting closer and closer. Knight G5, okay. I can also do something. Now I'll play Knight E4. One knight leaves, another knight arrives. Are you winning here? I don't say it clearly that you're winning. I'm hoping I can get some kind of counterattack here later. Maybe I can bring my queen to defend also. Yeah, I'm not impressed. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. So Queen E8, E5, Queen E8. Why did you play Queen E8? Now you ask yourself the question. Why? Why Queen E8? Try to understand your opponent's moves. Exactly, Sarthak. That's why he played it. He was hoping that she would play Bishop D3, and then he would play F5. F5 will always be a bad move due to E takes F6, but not exactly on this occasion, right? Because the queen is hanging. But she understood that. She understood that. She did not play Queen H4. I was saying I could play F5. She did not play Queen G4. Why didn't she play Queen G4? Because you don't attack this point anymore. So I would play E6 maybe. Maybe I can play E6, right? Okay, the pawn is on the house. I'll try to defend here in some way. I don't know what would Smirin play. 97 maybe, and hope for some exchange sacrifice. Yeah, not completely convincing. Aha. Maybe. I'm not sure. I will need to check this a little closer. But it's one theory at least. So please go ahead. Who said this? Steve, no, and Sarthak. Sarthak and Celicia. We will let Sarthak show this. She could have played Bishop C4, but if you play Bishop C4, there is some issue over here, right? Maybe I can play Knight takes E5 or no? This guy is hanging, perhaps? So she played Sarthak's move, Queen H3. Aha. Which meant that now if F5 Sarthak, you would simply play. You can take if you like. Yeah, maybe, no? I wouldn't play that though, Sarthak, if I were you. It's nice though that the queen is targeting this guy also. Oh, you have a variation here, Steve. Sorry, I didn't notice. Knight takes E5. Not here, right? Knight takes E5. This is not understandable. Yeah, no. Bishop C4. Oh, you're saying if Bishop C4, I cannot play Knight takes E5? But I'm taking with a pawn here, right, Steve? Not with the bishop, hopefully. And if Bishop D3, I don't have to ask you twice about Black's next move, right? Yeah, we know the story already. We can play F5 now. Queen f5, that's a move which makes me very scared. But when do you play that exactly? Am I lagging? Oh, sorry, I didn't know that. When did you manage to play Queen f5? You're scaring me. I thought that was never possible, the way I played. Should we continue maybe? Queen h3, that's what she played in the game. Queen h3, and if you play f5, there are multiple moves, but this is one of the best ones, I think. And you send the bishop to e6, and you can take the later or something like that. That's what Judith Polgar said, at least. So h6 was played by Smirin, and she finished off this game in beautiful fashion. She played bishop d3. He tried knight b4, desperate attack, bishop b4, e6. This is the beautiful part of the game. I don't know, did you see this game? What was the big difference? The big difference was that we hold up f5, right? If you play queen h4, I go f5. If you play bishop c4 check and bishop e6, unlike the game continuation, you're not touching this pawn. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tricky, if you play like that. So I'll play, yeah, okay, my life is not very pleasant anyway, but okay, what can I play? Queen g6, maybe give up something, and well, this is like an intuitive choice, probably not correct. Yeah, I mean, okay, who is moving? Somebody's moving here. Sarthak is moving. All right, Sarthak, we're playing a blitz game now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I don't know. I'm equal material and I'm not getting killed yet. So knight g5. Yeah, I mean, you have many possibilities now in your position. I guess white is better, but I'm not giving up in this position. Yeah, what would I play? Knight e4 maybe? Try to get some counterplay over there? Or no? Yeah, not as easy. Yeah, rook d6 is coming. It's not coming as far as I can see. But I can see your point. If you're coming back with a knight, we're losing our time, right? If you're repeating moves. Anyway, we can agree, even if we don't need to go into variations and so on, just logically comparing the two moves. Queen h3 is doing more things than queen h4. Don't forget this move that somebody mentioned here. If you can get that into the action, you're winning, right? So, okay, let's see the game very quickly because it's very beautiful. So she played f5 and Smirin tried rook takes e3. So I'm just curious, who can see the final part of the story? One of her nicest games, if you ask me. I thought this was a brilliant game. Yeah, all right. Only 2 moves left in the game, I think. I'll give you only 30 seconds. Aha. Perfect. Kugel and Sarthak. Please go ahead, Kugel. f6. Black was going for an attack here with queen b5, but to no avail. I think you can also play queen g4. Those of you who said queen g4, I think it's okay also. But there was some point with queen g3. I cannot really remember this. But there was some hidden point with putting the queen there instead. Yeah, in any case, you can see that black's checks are... Yeah, rook takes e2, for instance. Black's checks are over here after... Oh, no, I think I know the reason. Yeah, if the queen was on g4, maybe there is a trade with queen b4, right? Yeah, exactly, Hollow. That's right. Even if white would be winning in that endgame, perhaps, since they win a piece, you still don't want to do that, no? You prefer to play in this way, and you can just walk away and yeah, home sweet home and so on. So yeah, you had very little time, of course, Oski. So anyway, this I wanted to show you that in this position, when they play queen e8, just like in the other position, it's time to think about the move f5, and you can do this kind of prophylactic thinking in your attack. All right, let's see if we can maybe do 1 or 2 more examples. We were talking about strategical examples. Let's do maybe 1 or 2 more. So here we have a game with the white pieces Bartel and black is Maksudlu. This time Maksudlu is more fortunate at the board. Anyone, can you make some kind of, what would you say, assessment of this position? What's your opinion here in this position? It's white to move, by the way. It's white to move. Yeah, black has bishop pair. f5 is coming. And also, I think this is important to understand. The queenside structure does not favor white at all. Their pawn majority is right now cramped now. So white's having difficulty in these positions. Yeah, outpost on c4. That's true, but it's not an outpost that's it's not there forever, right? There are also ways in which black's light square bishop can fight against it, right? So yeah, f5 is a very good move. Unfortunately, it's not your move, okay? So please be quiet in the chat. Please be quiet in the chat. White played bishop e2. Let me know what you would play here with the black pieces, okay? Quiet, please, quiet. And remember our topic. Don't forget what our topic today is, asking the question. No? Ask the question, please. Message for Steve, Kowalski, anyone you know, Lily and Princess, Kugel. Ask the question. Phineas, ask the question. Bartel is a grandmaster from Poland, strong player, and even if you didn't have such a strong opponent, you should always ask yourself, hey, why did he play that move? Or why did she play